Hey everybody, it's James here with Cadroll Hunter once again, and any day is a good day when you're holding on to a bag of silver. Today we're looking at 90% US scrap silver. We're going to go through this and see what we can fill in my own album, and so fill some spots in my collection, and of course what we can add to our stack. So I went to my silver dealer this week and I had a look at their scrap silver, and I got myself $12.50 of US 90% silver. It's an assortment of half dollars. I've got some quarters, I've got some dimes, some different years. Essentially, they didn't have a lot when I went in this time, so I pretty much bought everything in the bin that wasn't a Kennedy half dollar. Now, I got a few Kennedy half dollars in here, 1964s, that were in decent shape. But I pretty much got all the older stuff that I could find that was silver. And so that's what we're going to go through. And so let's just get this out of the bag here. So I can open the little Ziploc. All right. And then we can get this out of here. What I'm going to do is sort this by denomination and by type. And we'll take a look together at what years, if we got any varieties or anything, so we have a sense of what we got here. Okay, I've got these all organized, and we got like a nice variety of things here. We'll start right with these Mercury Dimes here. So we got 4 Mercury Dimes, and you can see here we got a 1918 Philadelphia. We got 1925 to 1925 Philadelphias. And this one here, it's a little bit worn on the rim, but I believe that's a 1928, also a Philadelphia. Some of these, it's really hard to even tell if there was a mint mark because they're so worn. And where the mint mark would be is part of what's really worn off on the rim. So for all intents and purposes, we can consider these to be Philadelphias. We just wouldn't be able to tell any other way. I definitely don't have this 1918 in my collection. And I don't have a 1928 either. So got a couple fillers. I have a 1925. I don't have a lot of US silver. Mostly what I've gotten either in coin roll hunting, the odd thing here and there, and also in some scrap silver purchases. I think I've only done a couple previously. I've got this Merc dime that I thought was the 28 under the scope. I wanted to have a closer look at the date here, and I've concluded that this is actually a 1929. Either way, I don't have the 29 in my collection, so that's a good addition. But what I'm looking at here, and you can see the rim is worn right down over the date, but the 28, we would see the bottom part of the rounded 8 in this part of the field here. We don't see it, which means that this is the 29, which is coming down this way. So I'm pretty certain this is a 1929 if I flip it over. If we look to see where the mint mark would be, we're not going to get anything here. It would be really hard to see if there's anything. So I'm pretty certain this is a Philadelphia, or otherwise we just wouldn't be able to tell. But that's 1929. We're going to add that to my collection. But in the Roosevelt Dimes, we got a 1946 Philadelphia, a 52 Denver, 257 Denvers, a 62 Denver, and a 64 Philadelphia. Now onto the quarters, and this is where it gets interesting. We have 3 of these Standing Liberty quarters, and they are all likely going to be dateless. You can see where the date is. So I know there are some markers for us to be able to see which type it might be based on the reverse, and it can help narrow down the years. All 3 of these I can see have the stars underneath the eagle. I'm going to just take a little look at my book and see what we might have here to narrow it down. Well, I've done some quick research and I've taken a closer look at these, and the best we're going to do, I think, is just be confident and comfortable understanding that these are type 2 reverses with the 3 stars below the eagle. All that's really going to tell us is that these can't be 1916s, so they could be anything from 1917 up till Probably the mid 20s when they started to actually recess the date in the coin so that it wouldn't wear off so easily. But anyway, it's always good to add silver to the stack. So I'll put these in my rolls. I'll put them up here where I'm sort of putting the ones that are going away. And we'll take a look at what we've got in the Washington quarters. Okay, so having a look at our Washington quarters, we've got a 1937, which I don't have in my collection, a 39, and a 39 Denver, which is only minted at about 7 million, which I also don't have. A 1941, a couple of 43s, both Philadelphia. 45, that's a 48 there. That's one of the ones I found coin roll hunting, a 48. Got a 51, a 56, and a 1964 Denver, which looks to be the Type A reverse. In the Walking Liberty half dollars, I got 3 different dates, and I don't have any of them. So what we've got here, if I can get this up close, is a 1917. It's really hard to see. I'll put it under the scope. Here you can get a better idea of, you can see the 9 there, the 1, and the 7. So that's a 1917. Okay, and in the Benjis, we got a 51 Philadelphia, a 53 Denver, got a 54 Philadelphia and a 54 Denver, a 58 Denver, 2 1960 Denvers, and a really shiny 1962 Philadelphia. And then up here in the Kennedys, we have 1 Philadelphia and 2 Denvers. And look at the beautiful toning on this guy here. And then look at how just brilliant this one is here. This is just in gorgeous shape. Look at that, eh? And just, I mean, it looks just about like the day it came off the mint rollers. Like, it just looks fantastic. So I'm sure I've got both of those 64s, but I'm going to look through. I think I need several of these Benjis. And so I really hope you enjoyed this scrap purchase hunt, just showing how you can get some pretty decent, interesting coins to fill some gaps in your own collection just at scrap silver prices. Now, most of these aren't the most wonderful examples of these coins, but I don't necessarily need every one of them to be gorgeous. And some of them, like this 54 right here, is actually in fantastic shape with some tarnishing and some toning. Much better shape than it kind of appears at first glance. When you put it under the scope there, you see it's got actually lots of bell lines there. We're not going to get full bell lines on this one or any of these, I'm sure. But this is a great way to stack silver in one way, but also fill out some of your collection and find some interesting things. And you never know when you're going to find something that somebody else overlooked in the scrap bin that might be worth something. Maybe not this time, maybe next time. Well, I just took a stroll to the mailbox and picked up something that I had ordered from a buy and sell group that I'm a part of. I figured just as a little bonus, I may as well get into it with you guys watching here. Okay, I've snipped the end off, and I can see that this is going to be a challenge no matter what, because the coin is in here, and it is, there we go, taped into the envelope, and I can see that it is coming out. So, all right, what do we have here? We have a Canadian George VI 50-cent piece. You can see this is actually in pretty lovely condition. I can't even remember what it was that I ordered, so I have to see if I can move it to get at the date. It's a 1943. And so I think what I'm going to do is pull it out of this flip. We can take a closer look at it. We can put it under the scope, and then I'll probably put it in a new flip. So give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I got it out. You can see this is a beauty. Lots of detail, very few marks. If I flip it over to the other side, we can see that there are some marks on it. There's a little bit of a damage, it looks like, on the unicorn, and some discoloration on the rim there, but otherwise lots of great detail. I'll just throw that under the scope here. And this is going to be the 1943 far 3, the near 3, or this will be the wide date. I guess the narrow date, that 3 is tucked in really close. But yeah, we can see there's some kind of damage or it might just be discoloration there. But the detail is really nice. If I just flip this bad boy over, you can see lots of hair detail here on King George, and very few surface scratches. So this is could be in an MS or an AU state. I'll have to look a little bit more closely at what's actually happening here on the rim with that discoloration and on there. But otherwise, this is a beautiful looking coin, and just a little bit of toning there too, you can see, but it is in just really great condition. You can see a little bit of scratches, so an AU probably. I've put it under the scope here because I wanted to take a closer look. There are a few varieties in these 50-cent pieces. And here is what I can see. Now you can't see a whole lot here, but there is a 3/3 wide date. And what you would see is the remnants of the 3 here. I've got it in the book here, so you can see where that 3 is. And I think that's what we've got here. It looks at this angle like it might be a bit of a shadow, but as I rotate it, it becomes far clearer that it's not actually a shadow at all. It's actually the 3/3 variety. And in this condition, I'd say this is about an AU. This coin could be worth about $65. I paid considerably less than that for that. So that's a huge pickup there. I don't have this particular variety. I have the narrow date and the wide date, but what I don't have, or what I didn't have, I should say, was the 3/3. And as I just sort of move it out of so that it's not just a shadow, it becomes pretty clear that this is the doubling. That's pretty awesome. Thanks so much for joining me. Please like the video. Subscribe to my channel, Cadroll Hunter, so you can see when I have new videos coming out. I have new videos coming out all the time. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you again soon.